I moved to Boston at 18 against my parents' will. They were like, you're not even 18, you can't move. I was like, I'm moving. I was kind of on a hamster wheel. And then I collapsed. It got to a point where I was just sitting in my office one day and my heart rate was like 200. There is a lot of bad dentistry out. People just want like big and white. And so it's not the look that I go for. You don't want to change someone completely. Material is huge in dentistry. Material makes probably 80% of the smile. So when you're using cheap labs and cheap material and cheap ceramic, it looks cheap. She had veneers done with another dentist 2 years before she came to me, and her gums were extremely inflamed. They were super bulky. They were gray. One of them was like yellow. One of them, they just did not look good. And they were brand new. They were only 2 years old. And so you really have to be careful what you're doing, because it's not just about putting veneers.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Maddie.
And this is
the Newport Psycho. Okay, I know I say this every time, but I'm pretty sure it's every time. Okay, but this is going to be one of Ashley's favorite episodes because you have wanted to talk about veneers forever, even though you have like the best smile ever. So we are blessed to be here today with Miss Guitta.
Thank you for
tell us a
having
little
me.
bit about yourself.
Yes.
Like, give us a background, girl.
Oh my gosh, my background. Where should I start? My childhood?
Right? Well, okay, that far back. What do you do professionally?
Way back. Okay, I won't talk about way back. Professionally, I'm a cosmetic dentist. I love everything beauty. I love fashion. I love teeth. I love skin. I love all the good things. But I am a cosmetic dentist, so I do veneers. I do smile makeovers. I've been doing this for quite a while. And I just love the whole thing. So I also have my own podcast, and it's called Smile Diaries, where we talk about entrepreneurs and journeys and motivational stuff and all sorts of things. And I'm a mom of two. I have a 14-year-old son. He just turned 14, and a 15-year-old daughter. She's a diva. And
usually we are.
She'll probably come to you guys for her skin before I show up. Okay. And I have a husband. He's an orthodontist.
What's his name? We gotta give a shout
Dr.
out.
Mark Panna.
Okay.
It's he's got Panna Orthodontics. He's an amazing orthodontist, one of the top in Orange County, and we've been married for 17 years. And that's a little bit of my background.
Okay.
I'm like, how do you do it all? Good luck.
I know it's a lot,
Yes.
but it's kind of cool to have an orthodontist and a cosmetic dentist
It is.
in the same family.
It is, because we teach each other stuff and we work on some cases together.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll have like a case that comes in and they have crowding. I'm like, hey, can you take care of the crowding first before I do the veneers? And so he'll start first. He'll finish with whatever Invisalign or braces, and then I'll take over. So it's kind of cool that we work together.
Yeah, it's like a team.
It's
You
like
guys
a
are awesome.
one-stop
it's an
shop.
It is a one-stop
I
shop.
love
Yes,
this.
yes,
People
yes.
want convenience. You
Yeah.
get it, girl.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah. We have an oral surgeon in our office too who does like implants and extractions and everything. And so yeah, we kind of cover all aspects of dentistry. We love it.
Okay, so that kind of leads me into my question, like why dentistry? Like why teeth? What got you into that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I moved here, I was born and raised in Beirut, and then I moved here because of the war that was happening in Lebanon at the time. And I first moved to Connecticut. I was 14 years old. And when I moved, I was finishing up my last year of middle school back home. And when I got here, they tested me to put me in high school, and the high school in Connecticut said, well, she's way too advanced to be in high school. She's already, because I was going to like an all-girl Catholic French school in Lebanon, and the French schools are very like advanced, and we were taking all the classes that like college kids were taking here.
Yeah, like at middle school
in
level?
middle school, like I was taking calculus, I was all of that stuff.
Dang.
Holy moly.
And so when I came and they tested me, they were like, oh my God, this is a waste of her time to sit here for 4 years. She needs to be in college. And my parents were like, well, she doesn't even speak English, because I spoke fluent French and Arabic. And I had just started learning English in Lebanon as a third language. But, you take it like once a week, kind of like you take Spanish here or French.
Yeah.
You're never going to become fully fluent.
Correct.
And so they were like, well, how did she go to college at like 14? And so the school was like, well, we'll just put her in like the last 2 months, because this is when I kind of moved. And we'll graduate her with the graduating class. So I started, I think, in March. And I took 2 months of high school, and I graduated at like 14 and a half. And then I went to college at 14 and a half. And so before I went to college, speaking of how did I get into dentistry, I always wanted to be a doctor. I was really never interested in anything but biology and the human body and how everything worked. As a child, I remember just like watching surgeries, and I was so intrigued by just everything. And I was like, I want to be a pediatrician because I loved kids. I always had like a doll walking around as a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I fed her, took care of her. And I was like, I love babies and I love medicine. So I'm going to become a pediatrician or a cardiologist, like a heart surgeon. So I was always like intrigued by the heart and like all of that stuff. And so before I started college, we were in Connecticut, and one of my parents' friends, he's a dentist, and he said, well, you know what? Why don't you come to my office and just shadow me for the day, and you might like dentistry. Like you might change your mind and not go to medical school and go to dental school.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's still medical. You're just, working in the oral cavity, right? It's just kind of the same thing. And I was like, you know what? Sure. And I did. I went to his office and I spent the day with him, and I literally ran from room to room and like kind of saw like his patient's reaction and how he was helping them. And I really wanted to have a family. I wanted to get married and have a family, but I was so independent as a child. I was like, don't help me. I don't want help. I'm the one who like will carry like a pound, like a ton on me and like do it all by myself. And I was that girl.
Independent.
Yeah,
I was so independent.
You're the girl with like the one grocery, like with the groceries. I'm doing this in one haul.
Yes.
That's me.
I was
Grocery
so
bags,
independent, and I was so adamant about becoming a doctor. And my mom was like, well, you should just become an architect because your brothers have an engineering company and you guys can work together and keep it in the family. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I want to be a doctor. This is my dream. And so after I visited his office and I kind of shadowed him, I love dentistry. I love the tech. And I think I love, the art of it because it's very artistic, but without really like drawing, you're doing something artistic. You're changing smiles and creating things. And I just loved it. And I was like, you know what? This is perfect. I don't have to be on call like a general doctor, and I don't have to be in a hospital setting, and I can have my family. I can work 2 days a week. I can work 5 days a week. I can have my own office. Maybe I can be an associate. So that kind of changed my mind a little bit because I really wanted to be a mom and raise a family as well, but at the same time, like be independent. And so I changed from pre-med to pre-dental, which was pretty much the same thing. It's the same courses, really.
I was going to say it's like a lateral move.
It's not really. The only thing is you're taking the dental exam instead of the medical exam. But everything else, prerequisites were exactly identical. And so I was like, I'm just going to go for it. And I did. So I went to college. I graduated at 17, applied to dental school, and I moved to Boston at 18. Against my parents' will, because they were like, you're not even 18, you can't move. I was like, I'm moving.
Oh my gosh.
I was so independent. I drove my parents crazy. And so I got into Boston University. I got into Tufts Dental School, and I ended up choosing Tufts and moved to Boston and did the program. And then I moved to New York and did oral surgery residency there at Bellevue Hospital in Manhattan. And ended up in San Diego and now in Orange County. So
dang, girl.
Dude, I love this journey though. I love
story.
it. You were literally like a little like baby boss at like a little like tiny age.
I'm 14 in college. I was
like
like 14 and being like, like I don't even know where I want to even go to college. Like I wasn't even thinking about college at that point.
My mom said I was born. I came out of her belly, and she was like, you had your eyes open. You were already like, I could tell you were so independent.
Like a baby genius.
She's like, what's next?
She was like, you're a boss at like 1 year old. Like you were already bossing people around. I was like,
oh my gosh.
So did any of your kids get that kind of like similar like attributes as you did?
I've been raising my daughter from day one to be so independent because I never really want to rely, and this is no offense to any guys, but
no, of course.
I don't want to ever. I've always had this in my head as a child. I don't want to rely on a man. I obviously I'm married and I have a husband who's successful and we do business together and we're in the same field, but I never wanted to be the girl who was like, I'm just gonna have babies and wait for someone to like pay for this and pay for that. And I hated asking for money. Like I hated to be like, can I buy this? It's just not, it was never me. And so I was adamant about being successful. I was adamant about being independent. And so I raised her to be the same way, even though I don't think she'll be a doctor because she hates anything related to medicine. She faints when she sees blood. And I was like, nah, it's not for you.
Maybe not.
But she's very independent. She's very strong. She has a really like, strong head on her shoulders, and she carries herself very well. And she's like me. She's not bossy, but like she's a boss babe, and she's independent, and she's smart, and she knows
she's a
her
go-getter.
value. She's a go-getter.
Yeah, I love that.
She might not be a doctor, but she's all about like, she knows her worth. And
I was gonna say she has that internal worth.
Yeah, no matter what she does, she'll be
100%.
successful.
100%.
You're in a safe space because mine and Maddie's parents raised us exactly how you're raising your daughter. Like my parents,
100%.
100%.
Yeah. That's
why we're best friends because we just
that.
get it.
And
we
I
get
love
it.
that about women because I feel like we are raised to be, and again, I'm not bashing anyone or anything, but we're raised to be like soft and dependent, and we have to be a certain way. We have to look a certain way. But at the same time, if you're strong and you're entrepreneur, it's like you're a bitch, right? And so I feel like it's either one or the other.
Yeah.
And I wanted to teach my daughter that no, you can be a mom, first of all, because I'm like 110% mom, and I'm a hands-on mom, and I've volunteered at their school all my throughout their entire middle school and elementary school. I've never missed an event. I've always been there, but I've always had my practice, and I've always been a doctor, and I've always taken care of my patients, and I've always been a businesswoman. And I feel like people are either like, you can have this or that.
Yeah, you can have it all.
And you can have
You
both.
can have it all. I feel like, what? It's work ethic too, though. It's work ethic.
Put
in the work.
Like, you can be soft and beautiful, and I'm all girly. Like I'm all about
you're
my
like,
nails
look at
and my
you.
hair and,
and
I love that. And I love how you guys look.
And you're
right?
so nice. You're so sweet.
Like, listen,
we can have it all.
We can have it all. We can
time management.
Yeah, and you can be pretty and be a boss too at the same time.
Damn
and,
right you can.
You can be pretty and have brains too. Like you can have it all. You don't have to choose one. So, and that's just how I'm raising her, and she's like that. I don't know what she'll end up studying, but we'll find out soon. So.
Did it ever get hard for you though, having to juggle everything?
Yes. With all that being said, it is very, very hard. I'm not here to say it's easy. I mean, there's been, and I'm in the midst of writing a book right now, and my book is a memoir and a motivational
Oh my gosh.
as well.
Okay, shout out. What is this book?
What's the book called?
What's the name?
So the name of the book is called The Key Holder.
Okay.
And this kind of goes back to my childhood. During the war, when there was bombs falling on us, we had a shelter underground, and I was the key holder to the shelter because I always ran right away and opened and got everybody in.
Of course you were the key holder.
Yeah, I was the key holder.
You were the key holder.
My
key holder.
Talk
in my
about
shelter
control
too.
Of course you were the key holder.
And so, but I wrote that in my book about how I've collapsed, because I take on so much, and it was hard, and I want to be 110% with everything I'm doing. So like when I'm at work and I'm a doctor, I'm all about my patients, and I'm all about my employees, and like being 110% there. And then when I leave from 1 to 2 to go be with my kids or have lunch with them at school or volunteer at art, I'm like this 110% mom. And then I would run back to work and finish my, shift from 2 to 6, and then run home and like cook and take care of the kids and bathe them and read them and scratch them every night. And 9:30, I'll be like, okay, I'm dead. So not to say it was easy, it's hard, but I think it's doable. But you have to, and this is the reason why I'm writing a book, and the reason why I speak a lot now is because you have to really learn how to do it, but also live a fulfilled life. Because I think what happened to me, I was kind of on a hamster wheel where I felt like I had to be this great mom, and I had to be this great boss, and I had to be a great friend and a good sister and a good, doctor. And then I collapsed. It got to a point where I was just sitting in my office one day, and my heart rate was like 200, and I thought I was dying. And then like the ambulance came and took me to the hospital and cardiology and 3-4 days of like testing, and I was like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack, like I'm dying, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And I'm very athletic. I work out 7 days a week. I run, like I've ran like marathons and stuff, and I've always been very athletic. So I was like, it can't be my heart. Like I work out and I go crazy like an hour and a half a day, and every morning 7 days a week. Like, what's wrong with me? And it turned out to be stress and anxiety.
Oh my gosh. It was like a panic attack almost.
It was something like that. But I think it was so much stress that my heart was constant. Like it was palpitating to the point where I couldn't even finish a sentence. Like I'll be talking to my patients and I'm coughing, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I just had to cough to like get my rhythm back in the right place. And I think I was working 6 days a week. I was trying to, get my practice going, be with the kids, run a household. And I'm very social. Like I don't want to miss a beat. So, and I always want to look good, and I want to work out, and I want to cook, and I want to do it all. And so I just was running like 100 miles an hour. And I wasn't doing any self-care. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't taking the time to like go a spa and like, get a massage or meditate, or maybe just sit in silence by myself.
Yeah.
And I was being pulled in so many different directions. From 6 o'clock, it's like, mommy, mommy. And then my husband's like, honey, honey. And then you get to the office and like, Dr. Harb, Dr. Harb. And so it's constantly being pulled in so many directions that I think I just collapsed. I just got to a point where, and I thought I was great. I thought it was like, I'm doing great. I have a beautiful house. I have these like 2 healthy, kids.
Amazing.
I have this like tall, dark and handsome husband who's a doctor. Like I have it all. We're traveling the world. We're like staying at 5-star resorts and we're living this big life. And little did I know that I was maybe truly, not to say unhappy inside, but I was just in this hamster mode where was I taking the time to like really like sit back and reflect on things? And I wasn't. And I wasn't taking the time to take care of myself, because it was all about the kids came first, then the office, and the patients, and the husband. And so it was me. I was the last person that I ever thought about myself. And so yeah, I ended up in a cardiology office, and I was hooked up to EKGs, and my heart was like going like this, and I could see the EKGs, and the doctor's like, holy moly,
he's like, girlfriend.
Because if you saw you, he'd be like, how the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was healthy. I mean, I was working out all the time. So, and he looked at me as I'm hooked up to all these things, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. I'm never gonna see my kids again. And he goes, are you taking a lunch hour? Like, do you ever take a lunch hour and go in the sun? And my vitamin D was so low because I was not like even going out to like.
You were like a vampire.
Yeah, I was a vampire. And I said, what do you mean a lunch hour? Like during my lunch, I'm making calls, I'm volunteering,
what is that?
I'm writing my charts. And he goes, you continue like that, and your husband's not going to have a wife. Your kids are not going to have a mom. Your patients won't have a doctor. He goes, you're gonna have like a stroke, or like something's gonna happen to you. He's like, you need to slow down. He's like, I want you from now on to block yourself out for lunch hour and like really sit down and take a lunch hour, like go and sit and eat.
Yes.
And I hadn't done that in probably about 12 years of like running a practice. I've never taken a lunch hour, and I've always felt guilty if I did, because I'm like, I could be at the school like volunteering or art. And
I feel that I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Oops.
And so
I think we're full for that.
And so you forget, like, it's also, you have to live, right? So you have to work hard. You have to be there for the kids. You have to be a good wife, but you also have to live. Like, you have to like
live in the present, like actual moment. Yeah.
And like really reflect and like really enjoy what you're doing. And I think for me, everything was so good on paper, and it looked great, but I wasn't really like living this really fulfilled life for me. I was just giving and constantly. And my cup was like overflowing, and it was, I just couldn't give anymore. And so that's when I collapsed, because I was like, nobody's giving me anything. I was just giving away, and just like
you need to give yourself you need to like give yourself the exact same grace and time that you're giving 100%. Everybody else.
But I think as also moms and entrepreneurs, you feel that guilt, right, when you take the time. And even to this day, I mean, I had to restructure my life. And 5 years ago when COVID hit, and I was forced to be home, because I'm a go constantly, and we had to shut down the office. We couldn't work on patients. And this is when I started to reflect on my life, because I was home. I was like, what do I do with myself? Like, this is crazy. I'm bored. I'm going nuts. And I became a gourmet chef, because I don't know. I had to create something.
I was waiting for her to tell me what she did.
And I'm like, what did you do?
What else? What other career did she do?
Chef. I literally did. I was cooking these amazing meals, and I was like perfecting them, and like the parsley on top, and all that.
I want to be at your house during COVID.
Yes. And that's when I started getting like this anxiety again, because it kind of went back to the war, where I was like, oh my God, the world is ending and I'm going to die and all this stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to fall back into that same spot again. And so that's why when I started journaling, I started waking up really early, and I said, if something has to change, I can't get up at like 6:30 and run. I have to like start getting up early and just sit down with my coffee maybe for 30 minutes and like reflect, like write things down, like meditate a little bit. And so that's where my journey started. And it was just like really little by little, like things just started changing. And I've always worked out, but I started like really lifting weights. And I think with me lifting weights and getting like stronger and seeing physically I was stronger, I started becoming mentally stronger. And like just things started changing. And my whole like perception on life and like everything just changed all of a sudden. Like it took like 2 years, but it was a slow progress. But I just little by little, I started, changing my, like, getting rid of things like
little habits,
Mm-hmm.
and getting rid of things like on Instagram, or unfollow things that were stupid or depressing or didn't really like bring joy to my life.
or add value.
Or add value. I started shedding friends.
I
was like,
you start to realize that when you start to go on like a self-growth journey, you start to realize how you start to like kind of, I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but like start to cut out the dead weight.
I did.
And you're just like, wow, I didn't realize that you were like an excess weight that was holding me down until you start to move yourself out of that.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, like I feel like that's
is this bringing me happiness? Do they does this person, place, or thing like put value into my life 100%. As much as I put value into that? You know?
I think when you're younger, you're kind of like, oh, I want to be in that group. I want to do this. I want to try.
You want everybody to love you.
You want everyone to love you.
People pleasing.
And for me, I was never the girl that felt like I needed to have a clique. I'm an Aquarius, so we're like a thing of our own, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you an Aquarius?
Yeah,
you know how it is.
But I'm a people pleaser to the max.
I am too. But
I'm like, we're water. We just are like, whatever.
You guys kind of remind me of each other.
Something about Aquarius.
Yeah, tell me.
Our like biggest pet peeve is to be like everybody else, right? We always think the other road.
We want to be unique.
We want to be unique, and we like to. Like if everyone's doing this, I make sure I just go this way. And that's always how I've been. So I've never felt like I needed to fit in or click in, but I always loved having people around me, although we loved our alone time.
Yep.
But you love,
we're like
you're
what
social.
Is introvert? Like we're the most extrovert
introvert.
Yes.
It's not funny.
Like and when you meet us, it's like blah, blah, blah. And then when we're like, we need our time though.
Yeah, like I'll
See,
go.
And
I'm party.
like, I'm just like, I need my time. I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
So like, I just need my time.
Yes.
I'm like,
Ashley's
work, and then just like, bye.
Yeah, no, I'll go to a party and I'm like, la 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 la, and I'm chatting with everyone, and
That's
then I get in the car and I get in my car, I'm like, just need a minute.
Yep. It's so true. Everyone's like, how do you have this much energy? And I'm like, and then like right when I get home, I'm like, whoop.
If we're places, I'm just like, okay, Maddie, go.
Yeah.
Go, Maddie.
Yeah, she's like, Maddie, go. And I'm like,
because I'm just like in the back,
when
like,
is your birthday?
What, January 24th? What about you?
Oh my God, I'm February 10th.
Yeah. I love February. I don't know. That's the best month.
And
so.
we're always in black. I wear white for you guys because I can see it.
I'm always in black.
I'm
like,
I'm always in black.
Well, Guitta, you pretty much answered it, but we got so into like conversation. I didn't even need to ask you who or what is your psycho?
Oh my God. So my psycho is like, do you want me to like just elaborate on?
Yeah, you can just give it to us.
Yeah, give it to us. I feel like your psycho is doing it all, but you tell me.
My psycho is a kick-ass girl that wants to change the world. Someone that's powerful, but yet kind and strong mentally, strong physically. And I'm an overthinker. I think I really like analyze everything like really deep. My psycho has a good heart and like loves to help people. And but also I have a lot of self-worth and like value to myself that if somebody hurt me, because I think I try at my best not to hurt anyone all the time. Like I always put people in my shoe, and I go, well, if I was doing this, like what would I want to do? Like, and I always welcome people all the time and make sure they're comfortable and all of that. And I think as Aquarius also, we take other people's energy on, right?
100%.
A lot. And so,
100%.
But we do get hurt very easily because I think we try not to hurt people.
We are we literally do anything in our power not to hurt somebody.
Not to hurt anyone, yes.
Like it's unreal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
we go
crazy.
out of our way.
Out of our way.
But with that being said, I'm a leaver. I leave. Like I for me, if I feel like my self-worth is not being acknowledged, I just walk away. And
I love
good
that.
For you.
Good
and
for
I
you.
have taught myself over the
as you should.
Yeah.
I've
as you should. Engagements, and I've walked away from 3, and so like 2 months before the wedding.
So in other words, your hubby is lucky.
He's lucky.
You're like, listen,
he's lucky.
I said
lucky.
yes to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No to the
3
last
others, honey.
Yes.
But he seems pretty amazing. So
yeah, he is. He's a great guy. Yeah. But yeah.
I love it. That's like, you
dude,
do
I know.
It all, girl.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because like her psycho isn't necessarily what we would like deem as like psychotic. It's like her own thing of what she's trying to make. Like you don't have to make it be like a psychotic thing. She's a kick-ass. You're a kick-ass boss lady. That's exactly what it is. There's nothing wrong with that.
And you're juggling it all, girl.
Yes.
I mean, my psychos, I get obsessed with things. Like I have a project and I got to get it done. I got to finish it.
I love it.
I just go for it. Like whatever it is I'm doing.
But if we didn't have yous, if we didn't have hers, and if we didn't have yous, like the people who do think like that, this world wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah. No.
I mean, for Pete's sake, she went to college at 14.
I know. Speaking of like college and everything, like your career, like we have to like heighten this. Like,
I need to like talk about this.
Before and afters, like your clients, your practice, like girl, you kill it.
Thank you.
You're everything that I see is stunning.
I'm like, yo, I want those teeth.
Yeah, you can tell that like you really take time with your clients because let's get real. There is some bad dental work out there.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah.
Like bad dental work.
Like really bad.
Yeah. And there is a lot of bad dental work because there's a lot of people that just want to place veneers on anyone.
Oh,
okay. And have you seen the movie Something About Mary?
Yes.
When he goes and gets these like big, square veneers.
Yes.
And he's like, and she was like, "Oh, I want someone with a nice smile." And he comes back the next day. Yeah, that's not what I shoot for. But there is a lot of bad dentistry out there. There's a lot of bad veneers, and I feel like also living in Orange County, people just want like big and white, and so it's not the look that I go for. With anything, obviously you guys are in the aesthetic business, right? With anything, you don't want to change someone's face completely. You want to enhance, right? So if you do whatever it is you're doing, whether you're doing skin or fillers or Botox, you don't want to like change someone completely. You want to enhance everything. And so with me, with the smiles, when I'm doing them, first of all, I work with the top labs in the nation. I mean, you have to be like the best cosmetic dentist to be able to work with these labs. And I do.
Dang right you do.
Damn right I do.
I would expect nothing less from you. I would expect nothing less.
The material is huge in dentistry. Material makes like probably 80% of the smile. So when you're using cheap labs and cheap material and cheap ceramic, it's gonna show on the patient. It looks cheap. So for me, when I'm doing a smile makeover, it's not about just putting veneers because any dentist can take a veneer and stick it on, right? It's not about that. It's about really studying the profile of patient, studying the face, where the lip sits, where the nose sits, how is it going to affect everything? So like the placement of the lip and where does it fall? Sideways, I take pictures sideways of the patients. I look at their profile from the side. I look at their symmetry. Sometimes someone shows a little bit too much gum. So I bring the gums up a little bit and make sure the smile is, symmetrical on both sides and it's not uneven. And I've seen some people put, veneers on. And it's like one gum is here and the other one is here. I'm like, didn't you like figure out that you need to bring that gum up to like make it symmetrical? So I really study the patient's profile. And also you have to make sure that, speaking functionally, it works. The bite is good. There's so much that goes into the veneers. And obviously the shade and the color, you want it to look really pretty and gorgeous and white, but not fake white because teeth are not meant to be paper white or lab coat white.
I agree.
They're meant to be naturally white. So if you take a look at my before and afters, you'll see that the smile is beautifully and bright, but it's not a fake white.
It's not like translucent where it's glowing.
100%. Yeah, because there's somewhere it's like it looks like a piece of paper.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm like
on their teeth, like that bluish,
good.
that bluish like tone
shade where it becomes like
two.
You also have to make sure that the gums are healthy, so you can't put bulky veneers. I've had so many patients in Orange County come to me, and they just got veneers, and 6 months to a year later, their gums are just bloody red. They're bleeding and they're infected. And why? Because the dentists are putting on these like really bulky veneers, so the gum has to compensate and grow over, and so it starts to flap and it starts to create food impaction underneath, and that becomes bacteria and an infection, and then the gums are bleeding and they're puffy and they're red. And so you really have to be careful what you're doing with cosmetic dentistry because it's not just about putting veneers, but it's also about enhancing the patient's profile and face. And you kind of like what you guys do when you do something, you don't want someone to go, "Oh my God, she went and got fillers," right? You want people to go.
So Maddie
has literally the same. I say this.
Has this one slogan that I've always loved. She has this one slogan. And I want you to say it because this is your moment. Like natural, your little.
I'm all about natural rejuvenation, not 100%. Augmentation. I want
that is like my favorite slogan that she has.
Natural rejuvenation, not augmentation. I should patent that. Okay,
and I agree with that. And that goes also towards veneers and dentistry and cosmetic dentistry because because you don't want someone going, oh my gosh, she just got fillers under her eyes. You want someone to be like, wow, she looks refreshed.
Like
she got a really good night's sleep.
Yes. That's
right?
literally what I say. I want you to like, I want people to go out and like, whoa, did she just go on vacation? She just looks glowy. She looks good. Like, exactly. Well rested.
And that's when you know it's good work. And sometimes, you know, patients will come in and and this is not always with veneers, but if I'm trying to do something else, like I'm bonding something or whatnot, and they'll look at me and they'll go, oh my God, you can't see it. And I'm like, that's the whole point. You don't want to see where the bonding is because you want it to be blending in and you want it to look perfect and beautiful.
Yes.
And so with veneers, it's the same thing. You want to enhance someone's look and face and smile, but without having people go, oh, she's got veneers, right? You know, she has a beautiful smile.
No, 100%.
You want people 100%. To just say, she's got a beautiful smile. Oh my God, what a gorgeous smile. But you don't want someone to say, oh, these are veneers. And so I strive so hard to do that for my patients. And sometimes they'll come in and like, I want them really white. And I kind of like veer them towards like, let's get them bright and white, but let's make sure they also look natural and beautiful. And so there's so much that goes into dentistry, and it's, you know, I've been doing this for so long that I'm very picky. I'm a total perfectionist. I see things a mile away. Like if everything's perfect and there's one dot on the,
it bothers you.
It bothers me. And my eye won't go to all the perfect things. It'll go to that one dot. And so I see it. And my husband always teases me. He's like, you always like, I walk into his office. I'm like, that painting is a little.
Oh my gosh, that's me.
I drive him crazy.
That's me. It drives me crazy, like little things.
Exactly.
But with veneers, because now it's like a question for me. Like, what are the best veneers that someone can get? Or does it like differentiate?
Yeah. So what I've been doing, obviously, all along, they've been the traditional veneers. Traditional veneers is where you prep a little bit of the teeth, obviously, to make room to add the veneers on. And these are just regular veneers. But what I've been doing lately is the different types of veneers are called the no prep veneers. And the no prep veneers are basically where you don't shave any teeth down at all.
Oh, so you just put them on top of your normal teeth?
And you're just adding, exactly.
I've seen this.
And I do a lot of those. I started
that
doing
sounds
them
amazing.
a few years ago, and they work amazing. However, it's not for everyone. So if someone has, let's say, a lot of crowding, and this is where I was saying I work with my husband on straightening people's teeth. So let's say if someone has crowding and there's one tooth here and one tooth there, well, you can add to that tooth and add to that tooth exactly the same, right? Because they're still going to be crowded. So something has to give. So you have to shave back in order to align them properly.
Yeah.
So and with no prep veneers, it's you either do them on someone that their teeth are already straightened. Most, you know, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but for the most part, it has to be straight. You have to make sure that the bite is good as well. And then you have to make sure that they're using the right material. And there's a lot of dentists that are not using the right material. So because when you're adding and you're not prepping, you're not removing any tooth structure and you're adding a veneer, you can't use regular ceramic because it's thicker than the new material that we're using. So it has to be super thin because again, you don't want to bulk up that much
and make it like look like you're like too much, too much crowding in your mouth.
So if your tooth is here and you want to add something to it, you can't add that much. It has to be super thin. But if you're doing regular veneers and you're shaving a little bit, then you have that room to.
There's only so much to give.
There's only so much to give. Or you don't want people to
have
horse
teeth coming out.
Horse teeth coming out.
Too much teeth.
Too much teeth. And so these are the different types of no prep. So let's say someone comes in and they have a little bit of crowding. I'll say, hey, let's do Invisalign first. Let's straighten your teeth. And that will allow me to do a no prep veneer on you.
That's a good dentist.
And so
I know.
And so sometimes, you know, and I'd rather not, and this is when, you know, you have to make sure that also my reputation in Orange County is so important. I want to make sure that I'm not just like, oh, okay, sign up, go ahead and pay, and let's do this.
Yeah, let's do the veneers, even though like
veneers. So I'd rather wait. I'd rather have them go through ortho, do the proper, you know, protocol, get the Invisalign, straighten their teeth, and then I can give them the best smile that they can have, you know?
Love it.
So sometimes I'll say no. Sometimes I'll say
I
have to.
You have to.
Say no.
You have to.
You have to sometimes.
We had a plastic surgeon a plastic surgeon
and like
he's had said the same thing. He's like, I have to say no.
And I do too.
And that's when you know it's a good doctor.
Yeah.
Because if you're taking on 100% of all the patients that are coming in and you're just promising yes, I could do this, I could do this, you're gonna end up doing bad job at some point, right? So you have to make sure that you're following the right protocol. And you have to make sure that sometimes it's okay to lose that money or like refer this patient to someone else and get what they need to get first and come back to you. and trust that they'll come back to you and it's okay. I'd rather do that than have just put, random veneers on someone and having them have issues a later or two down the line.
Exactly. Well, and that's your product. Honest. You know what I mean? That's your product. It's your brand. It's your brand. So like, if you have that person going out, people are like, "Ooh, her teeth are not good," and then they ask,
where did you go? I always tell people that I'm like, you're my walking piece of art in Newport Beach.
100%.
So I'm gonna take the time and I'm gonna educate you. Like Ashley knows, I've sent multiple patients away. Like, I want this, and I'm like, that's not the best for you.
Exactly.
Or I focus on, like, I actually work with a lot of plastic surgeons where if they're, I know my extent and I'm there for non-surgical and I'm going to make your skin look great and all these things.
Right.
But if you're coming to me and you're literally physically pulling all your skin back and you're saying that, I'm like, is surgery ever an option for you? If they're like, well, yeah, I'm like, well, then let's go down that route. I've gone to consultations with my patients and then they're still my patients afterwards. I want what's best for them.
Because they're trusting you.
Yes.
And, I'm doing a big case right now as well. And this is the same thing. And I said, you do have to go through Invisalign. And it's going to take probably 3 months more, but this is the right way to do it. If you want me to do the best job and you want me to I had to say no. I had to say, this is how you're going to do it if you want no prep veneers. Otherwise, I can shave your teeth down a little bit and we can go the traditional route. So you have to be honest. You have to be open with the patient. You have to let them know what to expect as well. And you have to make sure they're using the correct products and your correct ceramic, and you really have an eye for it, and you have to have an eye for it. You have to have an eye for aesthetics. You have to know it's going to look good. So when we are actually doing what we call a smile design on a patient, we take so many pictures and we have them like on a board and we're just looking at them, and me and the lab are going back and forth with these virtual things. And so it takes so much time outside of just a consult because we're behind the scenes going back and forth and going, this is what we can do. And the lab's like, no, I think we got to do this. And then we have the picture of the patient up, we have the profile, and we're like, well, if we extend this much, it's going to show from this way. So there is so much that most dentists don't do that. And most dentists are
incredible.
Not. You would never. And honestly, I'm so glad.
Never know.
Me either. Yeah. This is like the importance is because people just see something online 100%. Or whatever, and they're like, I want that. Yeah. And they think they can go to anybody, and it's like, credentialing.
I don't touch any patient without doing a smile design first, where we design the smile and we virtually show it to them and we go back and forth and we actually print it out, and then we have it in person, not just on paper, but an actual model, which we call a wax up model. Wow. So I go through all these stages, and I know sometimes people are like, I just want it and I want it quick. And I'm like, yeah, the actual prepping of it and doing it's 2 visits, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that I got to do to make sure that this is the best,
That's right. That's right.
It's going to look as natural as possible.
You can always tell your patients, this is what I tell my patients. Yeah. It's like they're microwave. They want it. Right. They want it now. So they're going to put it in the microwave, but it tastes 1,000 times better and looks 1,000 times better in the oven.
Exactly.
So take the slow cook, let me do my thing, and it will turn out 1,000 times better.
And this is a lifelong, procedure.
It's an investment.
A treatment.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just going to have a veneer for a year or two.
Can you take them off?
Yeah. If you need to take them off.
If you ever wanted to, like the ones that are like the no prep, you can just take them off and have your real teeth.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I was
if
like,
you do the no prep.
No, it's a good question. I was going to say,
can you take
and I get that question all the time. It's a great question. So with the no preps, because you're not touching any tooth structure at all, eventually, let's say 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you're like, I want to get them redone, or I just don't want the veneers, period. You take them off and you have your own natural teeth, whatever they look like before.
And it doesn't like decay the tooth at all or anything like that?
No. Dang. Everything is covered and it's sealed, and
That's amazing. It's like preserving your little teeth.
Yeah.
It's like little like.
Speaking of investments.
Yes.
Can we ask you how much is like a normal set of veneers? I guess it ranges depending if you're doing.
Yes.
So I guess we could do a range and depending on how severe it is, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it depends again on whether you're doing regular veneers, which is the traditional veneers where we prep a little bit.
Are those less expensive?
Well, they are a little bit less expensive because again, with me, they are because when I'm doing the no prep, it's a different material and it's a much more expensive material. So obviously that we have to add that on when we're doing the no prep. So typically like a no prep, regular veneer would be anywhere from $1,850, $1,899 and up. And then typically for a no prep veneer, I charge anywhere between $2,300 to $2,600 a tooth. And that's because that goes towards the lab and the material that, we have to upgrade to the material.
And how many, so we have 14 teeth, right? How many teeth do we have?
So
off top we have 14,
8 or
right?
10. Yeah, we don't put veneers on molars.
Okay.
So we don't.
Oh, just the.
We don't. So we just do 10, which is your premolar to premolar. Premolar is the tooth right before your molar. So you have 2 molars in the back. Obviously, we're not counting the wisdom teeth. And then you start with the premolars, and then you have your canine, and then your incisors. And so veneers typically go from premolar to premolar. So we don't touch the back.
Yeah, what you see. Right?
Yeah, what you see exactly. Yep. So if someone has one premolar missing on each side, because sometimes back in the day they used to remove them for orthodontic reasons, then it would be 8 veneers. So I've had a lot of patients, they'll come and they'll say, "Can you just put 4?" And I'm like, I can do 4, but it's not gonna be what you're looking for.
Yeah, no.
4 is not gonna allow me to align your teeth properly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people have narrow smiles and they want them wider. So if I'm just putting 4, you know, it doesn't, I'm not working with the side teeth, so I can't widen
And then from
your
the side
smile.
profile too. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Funky.
Yeah.
I see that.
So typically we do 10 on top and 10 on bottom, or sometimes people don't need the bottom. We just whiten the bottom, and we're just dealing with the top. And
That's
probably most cases are only the top, because
I want veneers now.
Yeah.
Well, you need to come
I can
in.
just you talking.
I'm already looking
She's
at
already
your teeth,
scanning
and
my
I'm
teeth.
already thinking like, this is what we gotta do.
She's already she wants them so bad, and then because she wants them, I want them.
Yeah,
so.
you need to come in.
Everybody keeps telling me not to get them.
I know everybody says we have great smiles, but we can make them better.
Yes,
but
yes.
Guitta said.
Yeah,
she's looking at my.
I can already tell like your psycho's coming out when you're talking about like the way that you are so like. You're right. Like you get so focused on something, like that is your psycho, is like really putting your all in everything that you do.
Yeah, I get obsessed, and my obsession is dentistry and whatever I'm doing. I get obsessed and I get so focused on it, and I just give it 110% of my energy and my time and all of that. So I love it.
Here's me and Maddie next round of like, film.
We've already talked about this. We already know we want to go to you. I'm like, is there, so I don't even know if you're allowed to say this.
Yes.
What?
Because a lot of my clients won't let me like, I won't, not that they won't let me, but they don't like to like talk about stuff that they've done. But obviously you've had celebrity clients.
Yes.
Is there
I do.
Any that you can say? Or that have posted, because if they posted about you or said you can talk about it, but if not, I get it. It's HIPAA.
I've had a couple patients from Selling the Sunset.
Okay.
So actually, Kayla Cardona.
Yeah. Oh, she's so cute.
Yes, I've done her teeth, and I can speak about it because we posted about it.
Yeah.
And
she has a beautiful smile.
So she had her teeth done, and this is all on her Instagram as well. So I can fully speak about it. But she had veneers done with another dentist 2 years before she came to me, and her gums were extremely inflamed. That they were super bulky. They were gray. One of them was like yellow. One of them, they just did not look good, and they were brand new. They were only 2 years old.
Oh my God, poor thing.
And I had met her, and she was like, "Oh my God, like, can you help me? And I'm not happy with this smile." And she came to me and same thing. And I said, we got to remove these veneers and change the material and just redo the whole thing. And we did 8 veneers on top. And it just looks absolutely stunning.
I was gonna say what she's been posting recently. She looks gorgeous.
Yes.
Her smile's great.
Yeah, and I have her before and afters on my Instagram.
Oh my God, get it, girl.
I'm able to speak about it. I've had some celebrities, but sometimes they don't want to.
I know. I get it. Believe me, I get it.
Yes, they don't want to be like they don't want to advertise it or whatnot. But yeah, I've done. I do a lot of speakers. I do a lot of people that are on TV. On shows and things like that. So yeah, and I get high-end clients all the time. It's more demanding when you do that because it's high-end and you have to
and you want to like when my people are on TV, I'm like looking. I literally watch the show to just make sure like they look good and natural. You know what I'm saying?
Like the prep before.
Yeah, I'm like
we have to make sure everything is perfect.
And I have one that's in the works right now. I'm hoping she'll be okay with posting. I think she will be. So we'll be posting her before and after soon, a couple of weeks.
Yes, I love that.
Can't wait to see.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I get a lot of people from Orange County, celebrities, TV people, speakers, all sorts of.
And then just like the average person too. Like that's the best thing. You can do anybody and everybody.
All the time. Yeah. It doesn't, I don't
They don't have to be on TV.
We've had some patients call the office and they were like, does she only do celebrities? And does she only do like, high end? And my front office was like, absolutely not.
No.
Like she sees everyone. And so I have people from all walks of life that come to me. And I love helping anyone. I'm not into just like, oh, it has to be a certain person or I'm only concentrating or focusing. My energy is the same, whether you're a celebrity or whether you're just any person.
Yep.
So
Every patient is a VIP patient.
Every patient is my work. And
every patient.
I'm married to this case for the rest of my life. And no matter who it is, I'm going to do the best job I can. So.
Okay, I got to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Do you have veneers?
I don't.
I was gonna say if you do, if you do, these are like the most realistic. I'm like dying.
When you walked in
because they're so pretty.
When you walked in, I was like, I don't think she has them.
I don't have them. I have. I've gone through Invisalign. I've done Invisalign, and I've whitened my teeth. And but yeah, I don't have veneers. I was lucky enough as a child I didn't have to have ortho or anything. But as you get older, your teeth are always shifting. I don't know if you guys know that, so make sure.
No, I wear my retainer every night.
No, I do not.
I do not. I did braces and Invisalign, and now I wear my retainer every night.
I had Invisalign. Make sure you're wearing it every night. Yeah, you did Invisalign as well, or
I did Invisalign for like 9 months.
Did you wear your retainer after?
I did for a while, and then I haven't for like years.
Right?
Like years.
They shifted?
Yeah. A little bit. Like my bottom teeth. I'm like,
the bottom teeth shift really quick.
Hey,
so remember, your teeth are like elastic. So if you pull an elastic, right, and you just let it go, it's gonna go back. So your teeth are the same, and the reason people always confuse why the teeth shift, and this is such a myth because everyone's like, I've got wisdom teeth and it's shifting my teeth, and it has nothing to do with that. So as you age, your jaw starts to narrow as just by evolution. Our jaw starts to go this way, right? And our face starts to go that way. That's why older people look like shrunk a little bit. And so when the jaw narrows, the teeth have nowhere to go because right before they had a wide jaw, but as you get older, the jaw starts to narrow. So what happens?
Now they're running into each other.
They start to get crowded. So your teeth are like your nose and ears. You know how as you get older, your nose and ears are always growing.
Good thing and they get bigger.
Lucky you have tiny ears.
I have little baby ears.
Yes. So the teeth are always the same. They're always keep wearing your retainer.
Okay, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay, so where has your psycho like hurt or failed you? Has it ever?
Oh my God. My psycho has hurt or failed me because sometimes I feel like I sabotage myself. I feel like I'm that sometimes when things are going really good, because I think I grew up in such a, during the war, and it was always like fight or flight mode and chaos and things like that. Sometimes when things are going good in my life, I'm like, oh my God, is everything
it's like
okay?
almost too good. Like
it's
you're
almost like scary to me.
Second guess it.
And I'll sabotage something.
Like you're waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, just to make it chaotic. And that's when my psycho has failed
I love
me.
You so much.
I'm like, you guys, I don't know if it's actually a good thing for you.
And I've come to realize that lately as I'm getting older, because before I used to do it like subconsciously. I would be like in a perfect whatever it is. And then I'm like, no, it can't be real. This can't be like so good. And I'll do something to like hurt it. And this is just something that I need to work on. And it has failed me in different ways. And this, I would say probably recently in the last year and a half that I starting to realize that I do this on purpose, because sometimes, my life is going great and everything's amazing. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, what's wrong? Like something is about to happen. Like
she's she's about to stir that pot.
Right. And so I do. I like so cause funny. Something bad to like, and so that's something I need to work on. But yeah,
don't be self-sabotaging yourself.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Sometimes I do. Yes. I just I think it's just because I'm so sometimes used to chaotic things and being on the go.
That being like chill, you're like, wait, no, something's up.
Yeah,
you always do something new.
Total opposite. He's just on the couch and he's just like,
oh my gosh.
Kumbaya, my lord. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Literally honestly, how my boyfriend is.
It's you guys like
we are the same.
But see, do you have friends that are like super chill?
Yes.
Because that's like her and I. We're like yin and yang.
And that's why you
we
get
have
along.
to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Opposites attract.
Because like she'll call me and she'll be like, this is happening and this is happening. And I'm like, it's fine.
Yes.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm like, she's wait. You're cool,
we stress,
calm, collective.
But we don't stress.
Yeah,
it's
we
not
don't.
Funny, like
but
we're chill.
It's exactly how she. Yeah, it's like how
it is. And I can't figure it out.
Yeah,
I can't like.
But it's like that little tick that you guys have. But then you guys can also like kind of reel in the tick.
We can collect
it. And we get mad. We are very like. I'm so passionate about everything.
Yeah.
That I get like, and I'm just like, why isn't this person moving fast?
Like, come on.
Like, let's go.
You guys should hear me in the car. My God. Yeah. So, Guitta, if you could say like one thing about your psycho, like a one-liner.
Like a mic drop.
Yeah. To end this, like what would it be? I know. I'm putting you on the spot, girl.
You're putting me on the spot.
I'm hitting you like a freight train.
This is a tough question. What would it be?
What would it be?
Something.
It can literally be.
It could be honestly just about your psycho. Like, what's a one-liner that you can like just like drop it? Like, this is how it is.
Oh my gosh!
I'm thinking in my head for you.
She's. I would say. She knew so she could do it, so she did. That's just been me. That's been me all along. That's it.
You did it, girl.
Could do it, so she did. Period.
Yes.
Oh my
that's
God.
always been me. I
love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's believing in yourself and knowing you could do it, and you just do it.
Dang, girl.
Yeah.
You could do it all.
So first of all, me and Ashley are going to be your first next clients.
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
We're already like
she already was scanning our teeth.
I know. I was like, the first when she walked in, guys, I was literally like, do we need veneers and can you do them today? Can you just do them
She was looking
right
at
here?
She wasn't even looking at her eyes. She was looking at her teeth.
Yeah, I'm like, we need to come to you. So all of our guests are going to want to come to you because they should.
Yeah. 100%.
Where can they find you? Instagram, like office. Tell us everything.
Yeah. So my office is in Aliso Viejo.
Okay.
My Instagram is The Real OC Dentist.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my website is Dr. Guitta Harb. So it's DrGuittaHarb.com. So Dr. Guitta Harb. And our office phone number is 949-360-0225. You're welcome to call and get on the website. And Instagram, I have a lot of people that DM me all the time. And I get their number from DM and I have my office call them and set them up, whether it's virtual consult or in person. And
you do virtual too?
I do because I have a lot of people, patients that come from out of state. Yeah. So I've done like patients from New York. I've done patients from Miami. And they fly from all over to get it done.
To see
and so
you, boo.
we do virtual.
You're worth it.
As they should.
Yes,
as they
thank
should.
you.
No one should go to anybody else.
Oh,
You guys see
I love
me on my
like,
phone right now. I'm like writing down the number.
It's like already in my head.
Yeah, no, seriously. You are such an amazing person.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Thank you so much for coming
really.
on. Like seriously,
Thank
from where
you.
you're like we just have to reiterate that. Like from where you came from and like I would have never have thought that. Like what all your
Thank
past
you.
to where you are now. Like you get it, girl.
Thank
From
you.
key
You
holder
guys-
to veneers.
Yes.
There you go. Key holders to veneers. I love you guys so much.
We love you.
And you're so cute. And I can't believe we have an Aquarius and a Capricorn here.
Yes,
Like
we're
you
just,
guys
like,
are the
meant
perfect
to
match.
be. We're meant
the
to-
perfect
We
match. You are the perfect match.
We really are.
The only thing I feel bad about is not wearing black. Because I
okay,
feel like
okay.
But
I should've worn
you
black
like
with you
balanced
guys.
it out, girl. This is like what it was meant to be.
It
You
was
look
meant to
amazing.
be.
Thank you
for
so much for
having
coming
me.
on.
And I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah.
Either in your office or in mine.
yes,
you will like probably next week. Okay.
I love it.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.